Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I'm your boy Cutting Edge 50 and this is One-on-One with Cutting Edge 50. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Today, man, we got a special video review featuring my girl, Dr. Sarah, who was on Cam Newton, and she had to school them, educate them a little bit about women and men and the perception that she has on all these topics. Y'all already seen Cam did I guess he did a podcast episode with the other doctor. I forgot her name, Brian Chanel or something like that, maybe. I don't know too much about her. But I know Dr. Sarah personally. I met her around 2016, 2015. Always the same. Sometimes you meet genuine people out here, and they are who they present to be online or social media and things of that nature. She never changed. Always been a professional woman, a go-getter. I think we used to do fitness stuff, maybe Herbalife or something like that. But she's always been high ranked in whatever she chooses to do as far as white collar jobs and you name it. She has always been a go-getter. She wasn't a doctor when I met her, but this was, you remember, years ago, and she's never changed. Always educated, smart, articulates everything as well, and she is a family person. So I wanted to see this video, and I watched maybe an hour of it so far. I think it's a 4 hour. We're gonna touch base on just a little bit of what Dr. Sarah was educating Cam Newton about, and see where we go from here. If y'all ain't watched the full thing, man, I might break it down, do a couple parts of it, but it's called "Is It Cheating or an Arrangement?" Dr. Sarah and Cam Newton face off. It's hard being the high value. Now I remember when she started a podcast. And it wasn't called It's Given Podcast. It was with some other ladies. So I'm glad, and that was pretty good. I always used to like, comment, and share their content. So I'm glad she's started her own thing called It's Given, and it is given. She's always honest. She's gonna brutally honest, to say the least. But she's always telling how it is, instead of what you see on social media and things that don't even make sense. But let's go ahead and jump into it.
Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton, the son, Mr. Boogity all here with another episode of Funky Friday. And I promise, I really do promise, to give good content for the masses. But most of all, I promise to keep it funky for your asses. This particular episode, we have a very interesting person, to say the least. Very excited because in recent news, there's been a lot of debatable topics in regards to relationships, self-awareness, self-love. And there's a word that a lot of people have been saying: high functioning. So, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest. She is a self-love guru, show host of It's Giving Podcast, a serial entrepreneur, speaker, actress, philanthropist, as well as an investor. I present to some, and I introduce to others, Dr. Sarah Fontenot.
And I wanted to say, with Sarah right there, Dr. Sarah Fontenot, I always had a hard time pronouncing her last name. So I know he was anybody. Fontenot, however you pronounce it, Sarah. And she's not going to correct them on air right now. But she is, like I say, genuine, a nice person, smart. And she's everything and more what Cam said. Besides being a God-believing, a faithful woman, a person who, her spirituality, you're not going to get the best of it. She's always going to stay true to who she is. Let's go.
Y'all kidding? All right, Kim.
How are you doing?
I am phenomenal. Blessed, happy, grateful, here, alive, and honored. Thank you for having me.
So, what we should be doing here
Yes.
on Funky Friday is we should have a Funky Friday Bible.
Oh.
Where, you know, when you go into like litigation or when you go into a court of law,
Yeah.
they say, raise your left hand. I promise to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Oh, yes.
So, Ms. Fontenot,
Yes.
do you promise to tell the truth,
Swear.
nothing but the truth,
Absolutely.
so help you?
So help me God.
Mm.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm a little anxious, but that just means I care. Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
So, I like to kind of get people prepared for really the journey that I take them on.
Okay.
I feel like I'm the bus driver.
Oh.
But like I told you off camera, this is not a dictatorship.
Okay.
Meaning that when you go on the bus, not sure if you've been on any buses.
I have.
Right? So even though that there's a person driving, you can still kind of point and direct and let them know where to kind of go.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I would love for people to receive from this particular conversation a great, healthy conversation that pushes the culture forward.
Come on. Yes.
You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, last time I had a person that was labeled a doctor
Yes.
sitting across from me.
Yes.
I had so many questions.
Uh-huh.
She had so many questions.
Yes.
And one thing that I let her off the hook by not asking or kind of like really whatever is how do we get to the point of doctor?
Well, for me, it was really easy. I have an honorary doctorate and I have 3 degrees. And I was recognized for business strategy and Christian leadership. And so I've been recognized for a lot of the work I do outside of the classroom. Kind of like Shaquille O'Neal, Usher, a lot of people are bestowed this title not for what they do at school, but what they do in the community. So I've been in the community since I was 8 years old. And I'm honored and I'm grateful and it's exciting and I've learned a lot and I've studied a lot and I've done all of the things. But yeah, that for me, that's what it looked like. For others, school is probably the answer.
So, but you got your doctorate
Yeah.
from what practice?
Well, ask me that in a different way.
Okay, you're a doctor of what?
Business leader or business strategy and Christian leadership.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, this person that we know, extremely attractive,
Thank you.
navigating in this world of hyenas,
Yes.
dogs,
Yes.
men who are fiction and non-fiction,
Yes.
right?
And I think he had a Dr. Brand on there. And like I said before, he got so much backlash for not challenging her on her degrees and everything else. Everybody been challenged her on it. So he's gonna be extra careful about anybody who calls themselves a self-love guru to find out what their doctor is. I think the other lady said she's a therapist, but she don't have a doctor in that therapy department. So he just wanted to make sure, and I see why. But you always should need that kind of check credentials on certain things if people are claiming to be certain other things. For me, you don't have to be an expert in that field to be an expert in what you're talking about. If you did the research, you continue in education, a paper and degree, it means a lot when it comes to the jobs you're trying to work in real life. But when it comes to doing day-to-day operations, I don't think you have to be expert as far as degree-wise in that field. You just need to be practicing for years to master your craft and actually educate and research it for yourself to find out if you actually know what you're talking about. But let's go ahead and continue. Share your thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. I actually knew a mechanic. He never went to school, but he used to fix all the guys' cars in NASCAR. You give it to him, he can break it down, put it back together. Never went to school in his life, but that was one of his main gifts. Let's go.
How are you? You know what? Let me go back because I'm speeding. 'Cause Lord
Hey,
Jesus,
look, we can
man.
speed, we can coast, whatever you want.
Where are you from, Miss Fonda?
I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and yes, I said it right. Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and it's a small town in the prairie. And my upbringing is very different. So being in Atlanta, although I was in LA for 15 years before I just moved here, feels like an even higher level of culture shock because I was the only black girl in every grade. All the black people where I'm from, we all knew each other. My mom is Auntie Pam to everybody, so it's been a fun journey and an experience. But honestly, like, I don't come from privilege. I love that you said, have you ever been on a bus? Oh, I've been on the bus, and more so, I've been on busted shoes because I couldn't afford to take the bus, right? And so I feel like the journey of going there, then to America, has been next level and crazy. And I'm grateful.
Did you grow up in a 2-parent household?
I did.
How long have your parents been together?
I don't know overall, but married, gotta be 30 years now. I have 7 brothers and sisters. 5 of us grew up in the same house, and my parents, I just, you know what, it's crazy because I have a podcast, it's Giving, right? And I just had my mom came to visit for 2 days, and I had her on my podcast, and we were having the conversation of how I almost feel like my parents have ruined me inside of relationships because I feel like we live in a weak generation. I feel like we live in a place where people quit, they throw in the towel, they get to a space of, oh, this person liked that picture on Instagram, I'm done. Like, do you have staying power or no?
Like I say, boy, she's cooking right now. If y'all don't know anything about Sarah, when I tell you she's cooking, 2-parent household, so just like myself, you know what I mean? Even though my parents was married, and PTSD and all this other stuff, my pops, they always been there. There's always been together, working together, no drama after the incident that happened when we was a child, but we always had love for our parents, and that's what our parents still instilled in them. I only believe in getting married once, and to them, thick and thin, you name it, to death do us part, you honor those vows to God. So you always stay true to yourself, your marriage, and never jump outside of your own characteristics to make whatever you want to say, lust, whatever, with people cheating. I just don't believe it in myself. Let's go.
So with my parents, my dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was 10 years old. We went from a 2-family income household to 1. My mom was getting her master's in engineering, kept going to school full time, making sure all of us weren't homeless, taking care of my dad, and also her own life, still making my dad head of household. So the level of woman that I've seen in my experience and the level of what marriage actually means to me through my experience is way different from this 2024 watered down microwave version.
No. You just said a lot.
I know.
That may fly over a lot of people's dreads, bald heads, wigs, toupees.
All of it.
Lace fronts.
All of it.
No fronts. All that. Now, the thing that I did hear that in my mind was staying power.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means, are you willing to ride it out? Are you willing? Number one, okay, so I'm going to take it all the way back. We live in a generation now where people want connection so badly that they'll take anyone to get it. And you have to remember that we live in a generation where, as women, we are taught to get married and have a family, get married and have a family. And if your only objective is to get married and have a family, it doesn't matter who fills that role. As opposed to, if you're after alignment and purpose and integrity with God, that's a whole different ballgame. And so inside of that, what is it that you're actually after? You don't have to have staying power if you're just after marriage and a family. You could marry anybody. Anyone could make me a mother tomorrow. Period. You could make any woman a mother tomorrow. That's not hard. That's not challenging. The challenge is, are you willing to look yourself in the face and say, you know what? That was an ugly version of me. Are you willing to say, dang, I need to have more accountability? Are you willing to actually have integrity with what you say with yourself? Or are you willing to have those weak moments and embarrass your partner because of X, Y, Z, whatever it is, it could be, right? And this is just generally speaking. I think it's really important for us as people to understand, what is it that we're after? Is it
And I think we need to ask ourselves that, man. What are we after in relationships? I see all these crazy viral TikTok stuff and stuff like that. Men, women, you name it. The dating is horrible in 2024. I'm talking about 2025 because we were already ready to speed past this year. But it's sad to see, man, with this younger generation, how they feel about each other. I remember what they talking about, doggone Cheesecake Factory, and people just don't understand. You can spend hundreds of dollars at the Cheesecake Factory. I don't eat meat no more, but I just remember going there. They had decent, good food. I don't know, pandemic, how much money people out there making, but that's a little rough. You want to go there, pay everything, and still want to go to the club and stuff like that. You will go broke trying to date in 2024. But share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. What are you dating for? For the intention to get married, a serious relationship, or what? Answer that for yourself and let me know in the comments.
Dating experience, or are we after partnership in life? Because I feel like people are plugging dating experience into partnership with life, and that will never work.
When you talk about what you've mentioned, another thing that I want to kind of go back to is talk about how your parents kind of
Ruined me.
ruined.
Definitely, yeah.
Speak on that.
Yeah, because my parents have been through everything. Like, even most recently, 2023 was one of the hardest years of my life. And it's funny because people see me now and they're like, oh, she's never been through anything. When I moved to America by myself at 20 years old to pursue acting, I'm a cliche. But when I moved to America, I was struggling every single month, calling my mom every month saying, can you please help me pay my rent? I was that girl putting, and I could be transparent, right? I don't have to be fluffy. I was a girl digging out $3 out of my couch so I could afford to put $3 on pump 5. And not because I was in a rush, but because that was literally all the money that I had. And so what I mean is, are you willing to go and be with the person if I did rupture a disc in my back? If I did go through cancer, because that's what happened with my dad in 2023. My mom gained 100 pounds trying to make sure that all of us were good. And my parents were still more committed to their commitment to one another than it was about, oh, this is hard right now. And that's another thing. People inside of relationships don't understand that there's seasons. Just in life. Like, when you look at science, summer, spring, fall, winter, the seasons happen. And no matter what way they happen or the chronological order in which they happen, we have to understand that you're not going to like your person all of the time. It's just not realistic.
Man, like I say, right now she's cooking. I do believe in the seasons. I mean, like right now, I just had my son where he's 2 now. That season was a trial and error, you know what I mean, with health complications, everything else. Getting back adjusted to having a kid, like you over 40, of course it's going to be challenging for anybody. But like I say, I love each and every moment of it. But now he's at that two year, that terrible 2 age. He is experiencing everything. He's learning a lot. He's learning every day. He's branching out. He's becoming his own personality. So it's going into a new chapter, 2025, and we're looking forward to that, because now I can do videos and he's participating in it, and I can work out and he's watching and helping and saying go daddy and stuff like that. So it's getting to another chapter. But I believe everything she said. When it comes to season in life, we can look at nature. We're connected to nature in more ways than we actually know. That's why I tell people all the time, I'm a nutritionist, but the mental, physical, and spiritual, I always think it's interconnected. You can't do one without the other if you want to be whole. You can do and try to get back with one and you'll make it, you'll be successful. But to make yourself all around good in everything you do, I think it all need to be connected. We still have to, especially how hard it is. So you don't have your mental right, how can you get through anything else? Generally, train and we work out for stress, relieve stress to get escape from the real world. But that only is a temporary fix. If you got to connect, you got to have a strong prayer game if you're a believer. But if you're not a believer, it's still going to be struggles and battles, and you can get by for as long as you can. But there's only one person who can help you get through all those trials and tribulations that you experience currently or that you will experience in the future. That's a little here or there, but go ahead, share your comments and let me know what you think.
And so for me, I think I have a very logical and realistic standpoint on a romantic culture that's based in something shallow and most times on a facade.
Let her cook. Those commercials, boy, I tell you. Come on, what you gonna do? It's all about them commercials, man.
Have you had, for what you aspire to have, have you had or do you have a healthy example of that?
Yes, absolutely I do.
My parents.
My parents.
Okay.
Like, literally, my parents still hold each other's hand. They still kiss. I've never seen my parents argue. Now, I will say one of the things that I learned, because I do therapy, I believe in self-awareness, all these different things.
You do therapy as in you're the client?
Yes, I'm the client.
Okay.
Trying to find my blind spots, right? Because we can only be as great as we know, right? If I don't know any better, how do I fix it? And so, the thing with my parents is, because I've never seen them fight, I also didn't get to experience repair in the home. See, repair looks different for different people. If you are arguing, can you argue in front of us in a healthy way, but also can you repair it in front of us? Because for me, I had to figure that out on my own. So I've had my...
And like she's saying before, like I said, she's cooking. So, and I probably have that same thing because I don't believe in arguing, yelling, cussing. I don't cuss anyway personally. But in relationships, I don't believe in arguing or bringing nothing like that in front of the kids, period. My kids, none of them can say they heard me ever cuss or whatever else, especially disrespect their mother or whoever else in their presence, or just period. I just don't do it. I don't talk down to nobody. I'm not going to bash them for whatever the case. I don't believe in name calling, but that's just me personally. So I can get where she's coming from. The repair is probably big in the household, and I don't display because I don't get into the arguments. So I know that somehow some people can probably say, hey, I don't know how to do the repair. But if you see in good relationships, I think that's way better than actually see. It could be a balance. I just don't know. But share your thoughts and let me know what you think about what she said. If you had never experienced arguments and fights or whatever else by your parents, do you believe in seeing the repair so you can know how to handle those situations when you get older or once you get in relationships in the future? Let's go.
Share of toxic relationships in the past, for sure. I've been engaged 2.5 times, and I feel like, I know, every time.
2.5 times, yep.
You got to stop saying that. It's either you were or you wasn't. So it's either two or three.
No, it's a half.
Not to get distracted, we're gonna come back to that half.
Okay. But I feel like their dynamic has taught me emotional regulation. Because it's not like my parents probably didn't want to punch each other in the face some days. It's relationships, Sometimes people just irk your life. That's normal. But they never did it in front of us. And so now for me, respect is on such a high level. Like, I will never, those people that you see do things publicly, I'm like, ooh, it's the beginning of the end.
But like what though?
Disrespect, public disrespect in front of children or just out at the restaurant. I think that is so tacky. That is such a tacky way of throwing your person on the front line to be eaten by wolves. Why would you do that? If this is the person that you're powerfully choosing, why would you throw them to the wolves? But that...
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let it cook.
Most people don't powerfully choose. Most people comfortably settle.
I think I'm gonna end it right there on that one, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end it on that one because she's gonna go ahead and cook. Let me see. Let me wait. Stop this screen sharing if I'm gonna post this other side right here. But like I said before, Sarah is amazing. Dr. Sarah. Now I can go ahead and pronounce that. Sarah has some of the same beliefs that I have. I don't believe in public disrespect, arguing, stuff like that, especially in public. And she's going to get ready to cook on this other. So I'm going to have to do a part 2 because what she says about the women who gets on their men or put them in dangerous situations when it comes to pride or being disrespected is a whole different perception than I had myself because I'm a protector. So I didn't even think about it coming from a woman's standpoint of what she even speaks about on that second one. So this is going to be in part 2. I'm going to go ahead and do another part 2 with Dr. Sarah and Cam Newton on whether it is Funky Fridays, whatever the case. But share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Hey, if you know anything about Dr. Sarah, comment below and let me know. Check out her podcast. I'm going to put the link in the description. Just so the full link for this 4-hour video will be in the description section below. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. We're just getting started. And with that, we out.